Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a squat day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. All right, today I decided, again, just to keep the stress on my shoulders a little lower. I think from now on I'm going to do all my heavy squats, at least for now, using the straight bar to get me ready for meets. And I think I'm going to do all my rep work, my volume stuff after the peak sets with the safety bar because it builds my low body. I get good carryover, and I really, really want to push that deadlift up. And I feel like the safety bar carries over to my deadlift. Safety bar and front squats carry over to deadlifts really, really well. So, since I went with threes today instead of an M-rep, 3 reps built to at 90% of my current training max. No M-rep, I decided to go ahead and try to pause each rep just slightly. So yes, they were slightly paused. Someone said pause squats in the preview. Yeah, I paused them just briefly. And so again, go nice and deep, pause it, and just drive it up. And I was pretty happy with it. I can definitely feel the fatigue of this training cycle. I am looking forward to some Christmas deload and vacation. For those curious, no, I'm not going to be eating heavy. Okay, I'm going to stick to my diet, so there won't be any real cheating or anything like that. And we haven't for a while. I've got to get leaner. I've got to make weight for competition next year. And once I've got through qualifiers, it'll be a little easier because then I won't need to lose extra weight. I can just stay in the same little weight range, but I still have to keep cutting body weight. So this first set of safety squats, I had calculated what I thought I needed to use. It felt a little light. I went up 10 pounds. We marked it as the 291 instead of 281. And just to make up for the first set, to get the total tonnage, I ended up doing an extra rep on the fifth set. All right. These are feeling pretty good. I can tell that my upper back has gotten stronger. I can tell the upper back work is paying off because when I got under these, they're not knocking me out of breath the way they oftentimes do. So I feel good about these right now. I feel good about these. And because I'm pretty much high bar squatting and I'm going to high bar squat in meets, these are going to have great carryover. So I feel like from a training perspective, there's going to be no loss of specificity by doing my rep work with this bar right now. Because again, I'm high bar squatting. My squat is fine. Like I already know my squats are coming along. I already know kind of where I need to be at different points next year for competition with the squat. I'm easily on track. I want to make sure that I push that deadlift up. So I do want even things like this to be thinking in terms of what can we do to get the deadlift, what can we do to get the bench up. Squat is my genetic strong point. Okay, I don't have to work that hard for squats. And I think people have realized that when they watch stuff through, like, remember when all I had to do was bulk. All I had to do was bulk to get to that 605 camber bar, do some volume. And I think people forget that I took a year and a half off from squatting while on YouTube. I want to make that clear. I did no real leg work other than deadlifts for a year and a half and still pushed my squat up to that point. Hey, Masters 2 squat records are not going to be a problem. Benching is going to be a problem. Deadlift really was going to carry my total. So again, looking in terms of, hey, getting the stuff to carry over to my deadlift is good. Plus anything that builds upper back, builds traps, well, will help my bench stability. But I felt good with these, and people are going to notice a trend at the moment because I'm continuing to cut harder. My training volumes are going to be a little more moderate. This is what a squat day looks like right now. And you know what? I'm still going to get stronger doing this. People are like, all you did was some squats, 8 total sets, glute ham raises, leg work, ab work. Yep. Well, not even leg work, just neck work I meant, right? We mean neck work. Yep. Although the leg raises, people need to remember the leg raises do work the adductors also, which are important to squatting. It's one reason I love them so much. And I actually had a clown post earlier because he saw me doing my Tota bars. He's like, those are only working the hip flexors. And it's like, no. You, what? Go do some basic research. I am doing a high range of motion on them. All right. The abdominals are the primary mover. If you could make the argument hip flexors are taking a little more of the load if you stop down at the bottom, right? You don't have any movement of the spine. But I'm actually going all the way up, which actually turns them into a primarily abdominal while still getting the adductor and abductor benefits. But we'll get to that in a minute. Glute ham raises, these are going to be a staple. Even though this is a squat day, I'm probably going to do GHRs for now, unless I rotate in some good mornings. I'm going to do them on both lower days, both the squat and the deadlift day. Why? They carry over to my deadlift. They're important for stability on the squat. They're important for my deadlift. And I've come to realize, honestly, if I were to attribute my deadlift strength to anything, probably the hamstring work I do with the rowing I do. Because I'm real strong at rows. I mean, well, you guys can see my lats and everything there. It's pretty obvious. For the unaware, pretty good at rowing. Pretty good at it. That's what carries over. So again, all the back work. And then I'm going to really continue to hammer these glute ham raises. And the glute ham raises for me are not just about the primary movers on the deadlift. I notice I don't get pulls and things. They're an important injury prevention tool for me because that's a big part of the game at this point. Not just to getting strong, can we do it without getting hurt? Can we do it without getting hurt? These help me there. It's like we do all the extra ab work. It'll help protect the low back. My low back is bulletproof. I don't even need to do much real low back work at this point other than just the deadlifting and even this stuff. I don't even need my reverse hypers at this point. But what I will do is continue to hammer the core work, continue to hammer the hamstrings. There's something to be said for hamstrings protecting your low back, and there's something to be said for all this hamstring work and protecting them from pulls. I used to have a tendency to pull hamstrings. We could call it tear because it is a pull, is a tear, but it's not serious enough that you need surgery. I have a tendency to pull hamstrings on deadlifts. Since I started doing glute ham raises, I've not had a single one. Now I get insane cramps. I hate this exercise because it makes my hamstrings cramp excessively painfully, sometimes that later in the day, sometimes the next morning or while I'm sleeping at night. I've learned to mitigate that, but as far as injury prevention, it works great. All right, so that's going to be a staple. I'm continuing to do the neck work. Even though there have been points where I'm like, do I really need the neck work? Yeah, it's fine. It's not hurting anything. It does help build my upper traps, right? It'll help with posture and stuff. Let's continue to work it. And again, it can help with deadlift lockouts. So again, you guys are going to notice there's a very serious posterior dominance in everything I do. Hamstrings are getting a priority. Upper back's a priority. This counts as part of upper back. Triceps are getting a massive priority. Everything else is going to get less priority. We're going to hit it. We don't care as much about quads, pecs, biceps. They're important. They're not going to get the same priority the other stuff is moving forward. Right? And obviously grip. But we see that on even my upper days, all the fat bar work. All right. So the neck work is here to stay. And all this stuff, everyone will notice, really, there's only a couple of big exercises. All this other stuff is more peripheral. Neck work, ab work. I got to the leg raises. I don't normally do these on camera, and I only do one set, then I wait an hour to do another set normally. I do them on off days. I'm like, well, let's start doing them on the lower days too. And let's see how far we can get. I got 3 sets, and it's like my abs were cramping. I'm not used to doing these with only a couple minutes apart. Right? And you guys have seen me do up to 11. Doing these at all, even this first set was brutal after having done squats and stuff and glute ham raises. I'm like, oh my God, I could barely do these. 3 sets is all I could take. But again, considering I've done multiple sets this week off camera or even on camera, right? I'll probably do some again in the morning on camera, my little morning ab work. All right. Continue to see that. And I think then we can realize how big my hamstrings are and stuff there, guys. My hamstrings and glutes are pretty jacked, which we know. Gives a good view there. Normally I do these with the longer shorts on, not the shorter running shorts. So again, we can see the lower body development pretty well there. 3 sets though, I was shot. I'm ready for Christmas deload. This was a good workout, so I hope it's been informative and enjoyable, and I will talk to you guys next time.